Hey, Facebook family and YouTube subbies, what's up? I am just sliding back into home base, literally, literally and figuratively. I have just left the set of CNN this morning. They were my wake-up call. And you know what we talking about, Jussie Smollett and State Attorney dropping all the charges over there. And listen, this thing, you know, it's not really bananas, and everybody's clutching their pearls and acting all surprised and excited, and like this is all new and different, and it's really not. It's entertaining. I'm here for it. um, Speaking of which, since I'm here for it, I'm going to be, hey, Nita, I'm going to be sharing this on my other pages real quick. So just give me a second before I get into the meat and potatoes of this. And listen, I will, when I get an opportunity, post the link that they're going to share with me, because I didn't even have a time to set my TV to record this. Everything happened so quick this morning. So I hope that they will send me a link to the hit that I did this morning, and then I will ultimately share it with all of you. But listen, I get why Black folks are all excited, right? Because this is like another OJ trial to me, right? This is like another OJ. Listen, Jussie Smollett knows he did that old dumb stuff. The police know he did it, and the state attorney knows that he did it. This is our judicial system. Whenever there's a trial, everybody on both sides knows whether or not the person is guilty. Then the game begins when they try to convince the jury, when you have one, of which side they should believe. And the judge is kind of the referee. That's how I see it in my mind. And so each side is trying to convince these 12 people. That's why you only need to mess up one of them's head in order to not get a conviction, right? But he didn't make it to the jury, a regular jury. But listen, let us not forget that a grand jury heard just some of the evidence that was presented to them, and they saw sufficient reason to indict him. So it's not like Chicago PD just pulled some stuff out of the air. And, there is video of the Nigerians getting those materials, right? The noose, the rope, the gloves, the bleach, right? We saw them buying all that stuff, and Smollett has not explained, how did that happen? What was that all about, right? So this is what it looks like when you got coin, people. This is what it looks like when you got a good attorney, Mark Garagos. He's a good attorney, despite the shenanigans that he's been linked to on yesterday with Michael Avenatti. He's no schlep. And so, when you have coin and you can get a good attorney, then you get the homie hookup. And so Black folks are happy like they were when OJ was acquitted in that trial, because everybody knew OJ killed Nicole and that young man, Ron Goldman, right? We all knew that. But we see so many times the judicial system, their system, not working in our favor. And so, Negroes are doing that dance like the little munchkins did from the Wizard of Oz when that house landed on the Wicked Witch of the West or the East or wherever she came from, right? Because nobody died in Jussie Smollett's foolishness. He's not a criminal. He's likely to not commit any more crimes going forward. And so what's the big deal? And so that's why his attorney, being who he is, was able to work out some behind the scene negotiations and get him a deal where, okay, you keep the $10,000. Listen, this man is rumored to make somewhere between $135,000 and $165,000 every episode. So for him to say, okay, Chicago, keep 10 grand. I'll forfeit that bail. That's like me going and saying, here, let me give you $2. You just keep that and we'll call it even, right? So that's why Chicago is all butthurt, because they know that he did that. And the prosecutor has the autonomy and the authority to not press charges. Why would they not want this information out, they being Smollett's team? All the information relative to this case has been sealed. Do you seal stuff when you're innocent? I would want my name cleared. Now, I agree with the Chicago superintendent when he said that, you would want to have your day in court. You would want to remove any questions And I would think that, Jussie would too, unless he knew he was dirty, right? Because now he's going to forever have an asterisk after his name. He's going to forever have an asterisk. And listen, while black folks are celebrating, and I get it, I got my pom-poms over there in the corner. I'm going to get them in a minute. While black folks are celebrating, we don't really run stuff, y'all. Don't forget, we not the sponsors for movies and programs and all of that. And while Lee Daniels might be behind Empire, I'm hoping that it won't negatively affect that franchise, that series, if you will, and the rest of the people who are employed on that set. Maybe they'll be able to bring Smollett back. Who knows? Maybe his career will be okay. I don't know. But, good for him. Good for him. And so I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at Chicago PD. I get why they're upset, because their name has been besmirched, and those officers and investigators who spent hours and hours investigating this thing that absolutely did happen. And we know it happened, and you'll know that it happened too when there's no lawsuit that comes for defamation or slander or whatever else Chicago superintendent and the mayor are saying, because they are hot. They are hot as fish grease right now about this, because they found out that the prosecutor wasn't going to had dropped the charges the same time we did. They didn't even extend them the professional courtesy of giving them a heads up and having a conversation with them, because that's what coin and a good attorney looks like, folks. That's what it looks like. And so, listen, they worked out a deal, and good for him. Good for him. Because didn't we just see a couple of weeks ago, or at least in 2 instances in the last couple of weeks, where the system didn't really work out for us, where a police officer shot and killed someone and got away with a slap on the hand, or a police officer shot someone, didn't kill him, Charles Kinsey I'm talking about, and was found not responsible, not guilty of negligible culpability in that shooting of Charles Kinsey, Jonathan Aleda? Didn't we see a jury, the system, work to his benefit? So, folks are celebrating right now, because this don't happen. It don't go down like that for us. And so I hope, really, Jussie, here's what you need to do, dude. You need to have a seat. You need to go sit down and be quiet, because you dodged a bullet. But that's not to say that it's not over, because Chicago PD may, do something more in terms of financial restitution, because they are so butthurt behind this thing with regards to all of the hours, the man hours that their investigators spent, FBI's investigators spent. And at the end of the day, everybody knows that this was a legitimate hoax, allegedly. And so, Jussie, have a seat. Have a seat, sir. You have nothing else to prove. Mark Garagos did his thing. Have a seat and try to get back on that set of Empire. So it's not over. For sure, it's not over. And, thankfully, they're talking about something other than little tink tink for now. For now. I will be, I was headed back to CNN later this evening. I'm set for a hit at 5 p.m. Pacific. So Tony, sister girl, we're going to have to really have a conversation about your show tonight. I'm going to do my level best to continue to meet my agreement to be on your show. But I'm also going to be on CNN at 5. So 5:30, I should be done, and I will be back on with you, Tony. But in the meantime, CNN tonight with Anderson Cooper, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm scheduled right now to be on with Anderson Cooper, unless something changes. And so if that changes, then of course I won't be on. Yeah. So I just wanted to come and tell you, because I'm getting phone calls from folks, and people are texting me about how bananas this whole situation is. And really, in my mind, it's not unusual. Again, I make the comparison to the O.J. Simpson trial, where for once, finally, a black man prevailed. And that's how folks who look like me kind of see this. Nobody died. Jussie did something stupid. And so, he gets a pass, sort of. So For those of you who, hey Joseph, for those of you who, you know, are inclined to do stupid stuff too, unless you got Jussie Smollett coin, you might want to think twice about that. Because listen, everybody don't get this homie hookup. Everybody don't get it. And so there'll be no lawsuit by Jussie because he knows that this stuff is true. And if it weren't true, and if what the chief, the superintendent over there and the mayor were saying about his involvement was somehow not true, because you know, truth is the antidote to slander and defamation lawsuits. Jussie Smollett is not going to sue them because they're not saying something that's untrue. And that will be the thing for those of you who doubt or who think that Chicago made this up, or they dropped the ball, or they were being heavy-handed. When he doesn't come after them for ruining his good name, you'll know that he really did it, but he just had a damn good attorney. So that's that. All right, you guys, I'll see you at 5 p.m. Pacific on CNN with Anderson Cooper. Talk to you later. And until then, you guys, you know what to do. Be good. Be safe.